mean you're gonna have to chill out. You might need to lie down. Hello everyone and welcome back to So Biased. It is Pride Month! Woo! Happy Pride! And I'm participating in the CosTube Pride collaboration, where a whole bunch of us are making different historical outfits, but with a Pride theme. Sometimes it's the colors of a particular identity flag, or if it's just Pride in general, or rainbow, or anything else like that. You're going to see so many different projects of different colors and different identities, and I want to give a big shout out to all of my followers and all of my other CosTubers who are part of the LGBTQ2SIA+ spectrum. You are valid, you are loved, you are wonderful, and this is the month to rock your true colors. So today's project is going to be a pair of culottes. So culottes are basically, as Rachel Maxey would put it, the secret pants. So they look like a skirt, but they're actually pants. They were also known as split pants, I think, in the Victorian Edwardian era for things like horseback riding. So they're actually pants, but the legs are super, super wide. So when you're walking around in it, it looks like a skirt. Culottes kind of as shorts were popular in the 30s and 40s, and I found the most adorable pattern online that I decided to try out. Also, I wanted to do culottes because insert joke here about bisexual people wanting it both ways. Something I found out recently is that the National Registry of Tartans in Scotland has registered an official Pride of LGBT Tartan, and it's a beautiful pattern that has all of the colors of the rainbow, and the pattern is made in the same layout as the New York tartan in honor of the Stonewall riots. So they made a rainbow tartan to celebrate Pride and to celebrate Stonewall. I had a really hard time finding this fabric, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was heckin' hard. And I found one vendor on Etsy that sells a poly blend version, and one of the huge official tartan makers in Edinburgh who makes it in 100% kilt grade wool. I will link to both of my sources below. They're the only ones I have found that sell this as fabric. So if you find another one, please let me know. I'd love to see if I could find this in a lighter weight rayon, silk, satin kind of thing. And the best thing about these culottes, they have pockets! They have pockets! They're designed so well. So the entire front section is pockets, and I have put like paperback novels and my wallet and phone and shopping in these pockets, and they are wonderful. But until then, let's get sewing! Welcome to the gayest fabric ever. Mina agrees. Isn't that true? Yep. Okay, you agree. Good to know. It has all of the colors of the rainbow. Excuse me? Hi, I'm doing some... Did you wreck the Mina, stop wrecking the sheets, okay? This is a poly wool blend because the wool blend was 50 pounds a meter. Yikes. So this is wool poly because your girl's broke. So I am going to lay all of this out. I am going to cut out all of the pieces, and then we will start assembly. I'm going to fold it in the middle of the pattern and then lay everything out on it because it is an even width, because math. So if I fold it right along the center of the set, so if I fold it along the center of the set, that means it will be the same thing front to back. So when I lay pieces on it, it will end up at the same point in the tartan, and I don't have to pattern match in theory because tartans are done to be a completely even weave and spacing. I studied this. So I'm going to fold it right down the center here, and then I'm going to lay the front piece on and the back piece on, and that way we will have the same portions of the tartan at the same places on each pattern piece. God, I hope this works because this is all I have. All right, let's cut this out and then we will get started. All right, pattern pieces are cut out, and now for the true test. So this is the front piece, and if I lined it up all correctly, if I lift this up, the piece underneath should be the same portion of the tartan. And it is! Oh my God, thank God that worked. Okay, so now I do not actually have to pattern match because these pieces should be cut basically identically on the same, well, opposite I can't math. If you're like a good math person, please explain in the comments what I'm trying to say. So these guys are cut out, and then we are going to start with the layout. The nice thing about sewing something like this is I can use pretty much any thread color I want, and it will work just fine because it has literally every color of the rainbow, because gay! Okay, y'all are going to laugh at me. I'm already skipping steps. This pattern calls for a bunch of interfacing, but this fabric is so thick. There's like zero need for interfacing, especially a lightweight fusible. It doesn't need it. So I'm starting off with the pockets because these are a different kind of pocket. This is the front side, and then there's a pocket facing and then a kind of pocket back. And look at how big these are. That's the pocket. That is how you do pockets, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. Giant frickin' pockets. So I sewed this on to the pant front, and I normally do French seams, but this was really bulky. So I used my overlocking foot from my sewing machine and did a kind of sewing machine overlock, which I think really works well because this stuff, look how bad the fraying. Then pressed it under, or pressed it over, and then did a little top stitch on the top there. And then the back side of the pocket gets sewn together to there and then top stitched. And then I'm going to be sewing up to about here. So we sew about this much of the pattern for the pocket, and then this gets finished separately. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And then the sides of the pocket get sewn into the side seams, and the top gets sewn into the waist belt. So you have this big open pocket space on the front of the pants. Culottes, whatever. Secret pants. Next step in these pants are sewing together. You can't even see. There you go. Sewing together the crotch in the front. And I overlocked it as well. And then same thing, crotch seam in the back. Overlocking as well. And can we take a moment to appreciate the pattern matching? I am so happy with how that turned out. Woo! Woohoo! All right, the pants are sewn together. So we sewed them at the sides and at the secret crotch. Secret crotch sounds like a bad thing. I should maybe not call it that. And I did the same thing. I did the seams and the overlock. This calls for a 5/8 seam allowance. This is not just me overdoing it. That's kind of a lot, but whatever. That's what it says to do. The next thing is the waist belt. Now, this actually does up in the front. So there are some buttons along this side. This is the pocket. And then it just kind of comes open like a flap, which is heckin' cute. Which means there is a waist belt that goes just on this portion, and then a waist belt that goes on this portion around. So I have the first little mini waist belt here, and I am going to sew that onto this guy here, and then we're going to do the back waist belt, let's call that back waist belt, around the sides and back, and then I think it's buttonholes. So those are the secret gay pants. I wore them all the way down Davie Street in Vancouver, which, if you're not familiar with Vancouver, that is known as the Davie Village, which is also the gay neighborhood of Vancouver. And some of the shots I took were outside of Little Sisters Bookstore, which is a huge landmark. It's one of the first gay bookstores in Canada. The owners were instrumental in fighting the obscenity laws in Canada to enable the publication of queer literature, queer books, queer art, and it still stands as this huge monument to human rights today. So this project is part of the Pride collab, as I mentioned. I will put a link to the playlist below, and there's so many amazing projects. Please go check out. My favorite so far is the Asexual Viking. It is going to be a super fun collab. There's so many different people participating, so many different identities represented. So go let your freak flag fly. 50 points if you know the reference. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the project, please hit the like button, please subscribe if you haven't, and hit the little notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. I have a whole bunch more projects coming. I have, I think, 6 of them already finished and 0 of them filmed because COVID has turned me into a cave troll. And I don't want to leave the house, and we're under too many restrictions to go film right now. So if you enjoyed today's video, please leave me a comment below. Please let me know if you liked it, if you have ideas for future projects. I have a whole bunch more World War II projects coming up, and a few for the CosTube Symposium, which features a whole ton of creators doing the breadth of costuming, including live streams, including discussions about diversity, inclusion in costuming, as well as sew-alongs, live chats, a Discord server. So please come join us. We're going to be having so much fun with that, and I hope to see you there. Until then, I hope everybody stays happy and healthy. Please take care of each other, and see you soon. Bye! But these things are the same front to back. I don't know. I cannot. Okay. And why are you on the table? We've talked about this. Okay. Aesthetic trash. If there's anything working, I cannot work today. That tea is too hot and it burned my tongue.